where we talk off the cuff and you sometimes catch us fine-tuning stuff even as we go. So today is really off the cuff because it's the end of the year and we've been wrapping things up, and we also don't know what day it is or what time it is or where we even are. I'm sure you guys are all feeling it too. But Judy recently posted a story that actually I was like, ooh, that's a good story. She shared a post from somebody else and I couldn't agree more. And the post itself said, if you are successful currently running an online business, posting on social media, imagine how much more successful you could be if you were running ads. And then she posted some of our client wins after it because hello, one of our clients posted like 8% less this month because holidays, and had 200% more reach, 300% more followers. Like, it was honestly kind of crazy, but it was all tied to ads. And so Judy then got a ton of messages asking her, but Judy, how do I know if I'm ready to run ads?
Yeah, for sure. And I get this message often, even while at events or out. It's a common question that we get asked all the time is, how do I know if I am ready to run ads? I think I'm ready to take the leap with ads. So if you are someone who has been thinking that, considering, hey, are ads for me, or have tried ads in the past and they haven't worked for you, whether it was an agency or you tried running them on your own, then you'll definitely want to listen to today's episode, because we will give you exactly what we use to evaluate if you are ready to run ads. Because for us, the most important thing is we don't want to just take your money. And you'll hear Greta and I talk about this over and over and over again, is a lot of other companies will just take your money and say, yeah, like we can make this work. But we don't want to unless you're actually going to make profit off of running ads, because that's our goal, right? Ads can do amazing things for you, but the main goal for us is that you're profitable with them. So, Greta, what are the first things that we start with?
All right, so Judy, but I want to put a huge asterisk here.
Okay.
Because I actually believe anybody could start running ads. There isn't a quote unquote right time to run ads. And we've seen, even with people we've worked with, where you could argue, and we're going to dig into like what you need to have ready for ads, but you could argue you need a large following, which to us is like 3K or more followers on Instagram. But like, we run ads and we don't have 3K followers, right? We also have people who have been in Simplicity Ad System, which is an alternative, who have very small followings, but utilized reach and follower ads to grow their accounts. And so if you're listening to any of this and you're like, oh man, but I don't have those things, I want to just put a huge asterisk that when we are saying if you're ready to quote unquote run ads on the call today or the live today, it's not necessarily about ready to run ads. It's like, are you ready to play us or another marketing agency the fee to have them manage your ads? Because learning how to do the basics like follower and reach ads early on is an awesome way to kickstart your account and get to the point where then you can have marketing experts run it for you. And that's only going to make you more knowledgeable when you're choosing who the marketing agency is that you're working with.
Totally. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Pose my big giant asterisk. Parentheses. If you're ADHD, you know, like I just put that in parentheses, so it doesn't actually count. It's not real words. Okay, so how do I know, or how do we know, honestly, because we both are on the conversations where we ask these questions to people who are super excited to work with us, and we wish that we could work with everybody. And the reason that we don't work with people has nothing to do with our availability. It has 100% to do with whether they're ready to run ads. And so one of the very first things that we evaluate is, are you posting consistently? So Judy, how would you define posting consistently? Because I mean, if you've been around here a while, you know how we define it, but also people have really different opinions over posting consistently.
Yes. Consistently is a vague word for some of you on here, because that means something different to everybody. And like Greta said, we've all been told you have to post every day, twice, 2 to 3 times a day on every platform. So for us, it means once, and generally we're talking about Instagram and Facebook. So like 2 to 3 times. So when I say one, I mean one platform generally is what we're talking about. We're not talking about all the platforms. And consistently like 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. Now that's relative to other things, but within the last 60 days mainly, right? And we talk about this over and over again because it's like, oh, but I did that 2 years ago. Okay, great. We will say, okay, that's wonderful. Go back. We'll schedule a meeting. Actually, we schedule a follow-up meeting in 30 days and say, go and do this for the next 30 days. And if you do, we'll have another meeting with you to go over what that looks like to run ads. Right. So there's nuance behind like, yes, 2 to 3 times, but it's also recently 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah. And why do I have to post consistently? Because we have people ask us that. They're like, well, that's why I'm running ads, because I don't want to post as consistently. For example, our one client posted 8% less in December than November. He wants to post less often, which is why he's running ads. However, you want to be posting consistently enough that if people see your ad and click to your profile, it's not a dead profile. You want to show up, build that trust and authority, and give people confidence that you're not going anywhere, right? That you're committed to showing up, because the way that you do one thing is how you do all things, or a lot of things, depending on neurodivergent stuff. But you don't want to be somebody who is only posting once a month and then have people think you're going to show up once a week for a live coaching call, right? Like, we want to create trust and consistency. Okay, so that's the very first thing. We literally will be on calls with people. We'll be like, have you been posting consistently? We most often have already done a little bit of research and looked at their social media. So in general, we know the answer to that question, but we like to either figure out if there's an account that's not super visible that we weren't able to identify, or if there's a reason they haven't been posting, like maybe their entire business structure is changing, in which case we would just tell them like, hey, we can start working with you, but the ramp up is going to take a little bit longer because we need to get that posting, happening before we'll run ads. Okay, second thing, we talk about this all the time, and I feel like I could almost spend an entire episode just talking about the funnel. Do you have to have a funnel? That's not necessarily an easy yes answer, right? In a perfect world, you have some sort of lead magnet that we can send people through that starts with a ManyChat automation. So somebody comments a word that gets them into a list of some sort, and then they're nurtured for a minimum of 21 days. And you might be thinking 21 days is a really long time. But when we think about 21 days, that's typically 7 to 10 emails spaced 2 to 3 days apart. They're really high value emails. So again, they're establishing you as that thought leader. It's building the trust. It's showcasing what you know, how you can help, why they should work with you, right? And I actually have I've worked with copywriters over the last 15 years, and I've kind of pulled my favorite parts of all of the copywriters that we've worked with to develop this really robust 7-day plan. And that is something that we share inside of Simplicity Ad System. So again, are you not ready to run ads if you don't have a lead magnet that has a thing? No, you absolutely could. You just shouldn't hire a marketing agency. Most likely that marketing agency is going to tell you they'll write you those emails. I'm going to let Judy answer or talk about why that sometimes gives us pause or anxiety.
Yeah. So we're a marketing company. And so, yes, can marketers do good copy and write your, certainly. But a majority of the time we don't see that working well. Like, we usually see it working the best if it's you or someone like who on your team who knows your product inside and out, writing those emails, someone or maybe someone on your sales team if you have a sales team, and they also sometimes can help you with that copy. But please, if you do have someone else write it, always, always, always review it. And the reason why a lot of our clients come to us is because we've done the marketing, the sales, fulfillment, all the ops. And so what Greta says when she says she's worked for years, like you are taking over 2 decades of our experience combined. And we have in our system that we've developed is an entire email text sequence and the psychology behind every part of the funnel. A marketer sometimes will only, because they know they have to look good to you within like the lead coming in within the first couple weeks. And so a lot of times it'll be more marketing sales focused towards the funnel, where for you it might be best based on your demographic that maybe you're not hitting it so hard in those first few emails and you're hitting it maybe, in the latter emails, but that's not going to look good to the marketing company who you just hired to write them. So there's so much that goes into it. And I'm not saying that every marketing company does this. We are saying from experience, that's what we've seen. And so you'll get a great quality lead in, but because that marketer's pushing so hard with their copy, you're not really nurturing them the way that your leads prefer to be nurtured. And that's something that we really dig into, is the psychology of your client. Like for every client of ours, we do custom GPTs for them if they don't already have one, for example.
Right. And I do want to just emphasize there, we do custom GPTs that are built on the things that they have found to be successful and the ways that they have written it. And so that's also the difference, is a lot of times, again, I'm not saying all, but a lot of marketing companies, you get like put into their quote unquote template. Mine is a framework that follows what each of the emails covers. It's not necessarily like a plug and play template, which we've seen over and over and over again with marketing companies. Okay, so let's recap because I'm a wordy wordsmith. So how do I know if I should pay a marketing company to run my ads? Number one, I am posting consistently, which to Bringing Simplicity is a minimum of 2 times per week. Number two, I have a funnel that is based on a lead magnet that I can create social media and or ads around that prompts them with a word and then nurtures them for a minimum of 21 to 30 days. What's the third thing, Judy?
Yeah. Well, and by the way, these aren't really like, we don't really like ask you in these orders that we're saying. We're just kind of numbering them for your sake, not for ours. We just mentally, because we've done this for so long, just go through our list, and sometimes we go through it in different orders. So if you've had a call with us recently and you're like, Greta and Judy, you didn't do it in this order. No, we did not do it in this order, probably. Is that you typically need to have a CRM. So some sort of CRM that is bringing that you have all of this data to collect, right? One, that CRM tells you a lot of information, but that is how Greta said, like, that's where your funnel lives. That's where your text messages are. Like, that's where everything is that you're nurturing them through, because we evaluate that before we even determine which offers to run ads to. And I really want to emphasize that if your marketing companies that you're talking to aren't asking you about these things during those calls with you before you decide to hire them, again, they're really focused on just bringing you really low, CPL. So like you've heard us before, like just getting you a bunch of leads, and they're not really concerned about where those leads are going. That's going to be a red flag to me if I'm looking for a marketing company. If they aren't concerned about what happens to the lead after it comes in, or doesn't want to be involved in it, at least knowing about it, they don't have to actually do it, right? Like they're not like building your funnel and, things like that. But if they're not curious about what you're using, then that would be a red flag for me. But any CRM, obviously we love ones that can text too, because you've heard us talk about text messages. Now, we do work with clients who don't text, but you have to really, this is another thing that we're going to talk about, which is probably the next thing, but a proven offer is something that we talk about. So if you have a solid proven offer, you don't have to technically have the text messages, because for us, and it's a certain threshold dollar amount we look at your data. Again, we're asking you all of this information beforehand, but you have to have a solid CRM that shows us how the lead comes in. It goes into, I'm not going to go into it more because we'll talk about this on future episodes, but basically it tells us how the lead got in, how long they stayed, what they bought, and then what they continue to buy. Simply put, as I'm trying to make it like a fifth grader can understand. Greta, is there anything else that you want to add to that before we go into 4, which is a proven offer?
No, I mean, I want to talk like a million about like time and pipeline, and I'm like, boop. Because honestly, like, you don't have to know those things, but it is something we as a team evaluate, and then we actually help you build out your CRM or your data collection even further. And again, a marketing company should be helping you to evaluate the quality of leads once you have signed on with them. But that is technically for a later episode. Okay, so are you ready to pay somebody to run your ads? The last thing we look at is, do you have a proven offer? And for us, a proven offer, I mean, there's a million ways you could define it, but we usually have our baseline threshold of you've sold it at least 10 times. The offer can have evolved. So it may have started off as a $300 offer and now it's a $2,000 offer because it started off as just like a Telegram group and now it's a full mastermind. So it doesn't have to be quote unquote the exact same offer, but we want you to have similar outcomes. And we want it to be that if I were to ask you, can you get somebody to provide a testimonial for the type of work you provide, that you would be able to easily say yes, and you would have like a minimum of 5 to 10 people who we could pull from who had had a quality experience with you.
Totally. Yeah. That's another thing. Everybody knows this, but trust is so low right now. And because trust is so low, like Greta said, why we say you have to be posting consistently within the past 30 to 60 days, and also have a proven offer with real testimonials from clients who you've gotten success from, is that we'll get a cold lead. Because you might be thinking about this and you're like, but Judy and Greta, I'm so successful. Like, people, are gonna, like, as soon as I start running ads, like, people, all these marketing companies are telling me like, I'm gonna make lots of money. Not true. We've had clients come to us who have spent $50,000 on other ad agencies and come to us and not gotten a single lead. So, and have like 20,000 plus followers. So that is not true in so many testimonials. So for us, it's all of it packaged together to say, hey, you are now ready to run ads. And that honestly is only like the beginning start of it, like to get that trust from a cold audience. So just because you have it from a warm, we get you ready for cold very, very quickly. And then that tells us, hey, you're ready to, you can choose 2 paths now. So if you've watched this and you've gotten this far and you're like, okay, I got all of those things. Now what? Well, you can pay somebody to do your ads, like us, to come in and do your ads, or you can learn how to do ads yourself. And I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook where people are like, it's super easy. You can run your own ads. Yes, this is so true. You know what else is out there that people say they do all the time, Greta, that I'm like, I don't know how people do this, but they're like, you can change your own oil. Like,
or you can do your own bookkeeping. I'm like, who's doing their own bookkeeping? I could do that.
Yeah.
No.
Good. Like, all things are true. That's all true. But where do you want to spend your time, right? So think about where you want to spend your time, energy, and money. Because once you start running your own ads, guess what? The client experience goes down. More tech issues than you're having right now start to happen, right? Why? Because you're funneling more leads.
I was going to say, we break systems.
Yeah, we'll actually ask you, like, are you ready for more leads, right? Mini chats go down, like, and then you have to start responding. That happened to one of our clients, actually. Like mini chat went down and her mini chat wasn't firing. So guess what? All new 500 leads that came in that, that week, she started messaging them individually because the follower campaign wasn't working. So yes, you totally can. But then think about the quality experience of what those cold leads. Now, remember, these are cold leads. Sometimes they're warm because they've been in your, especially if we do retargeting, they've been in your world and we're bringing them back in. But still, you want to think about that customer experience and client experience that they're going to get. Not saying that you can't do both. I don't know where you're spending your time, but if you have a bunch of time, you can do like Simplicity Ad System, run your own ads. You get access to us for 8 weeks, or you can hire somebody to do it for you. And that's like the only thing that they do. And you honestly just keep doing what you're doing. And our clients will spend between maybe 2 to 5 hours a week on things that we're giving them to do max.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like you downplayed how easy. I do think people can totally run their own reach and follower ads. Yes.
Okay, but I'm not doing that, by the way.
No, I'm just saying, and you're
that.
choosing not to, but I also don't want to downplay the strategy that goes into lead gen ads, direct to sale ads, those type of ads. So like, can you do it?
Yeah.
I mean, I've literally spent probably 1,000 hours at this point to get to where like I feel confident running ads. So don't let Judy, like it is easy to run reach and follower ads. We're excited to teach you those in Simplicity Ad System. When you take it much farther than that, you probably should be hiring an expert. Crazy.
And that goes for everything, right? It goes for everything. So, and if anything, you take a course and you figure out like, oh, this is not for me. Not where my passion lies. It's worth it. But the quickest way to anything, and most of you who know this and who are watching this have been successful, right? You're here because, hey, I've been successful organically. Like I'm doing, 200K on my own. Plus, I know if I do ads behind it, I'm easily going to get to that 7-figure and maintain it, right? Because that's the thing about ads is you want to do predictable. You want like things to be predictable for you. The quickest way to get there is to have somebody who knows what they're doing, do it alongside you.
Okay, we forgot one thing. Do you have the capacity to serve more people? That's typically our last question. Because you can tick all of the other boxes, but then if you tell me you can only work with 4 new people every single month, why are you running ads? Like up your networking game, figure out some other ways. Now, if you want to run reach and follower ads to have more of an organic network to quote unquote, like pull from, I don't think that you should pay somebody to do reach and follower ads. I think you should enroll in Simplicity Ad System and you should have us help you set all of that up through the program. But like, if you can't hit your targets of 4 to 5, or you can't handle 4 to 5 new people a month, like there are other things that you need to figure out before you pay a marketing company.
Yeah, that's totally right. We ask you what your goals are, but usually at the end you're like, oh, maybe I want to do more.
Yeah.
Okay, so we summed everything up. If you have any questions, message us, let us know. But this is how we evaluate if you're ready to run ads. If you ever want to book a call with us, head to our website and we'd be happy to book a call with you to discuss this further. If you're like, yeah, I'm ready to take one of those leaps, Simplicity Ad System, where we do it with you, or just have us do it for you.
Yeah. So crazy to think this was our last Unfiltered of 2025. So we will see you all in 2026.
Bye.
Bye.